आप देख रहे हैं ज्ञानदीप चैनल, अतीत की सीख, भविष्य की दिशा।
Welcome to our channel Gyandeep. Today we are going to discuss about chapter number 7, the Gupta era, an age of tireless creativity of class 7th. Welcome to Journey Through History. Today we are dividing into golden era of Gupta Empire, where art, science and culture thrived. From the rust-resistant iron pillar to the genius of Aryabhatta and Kalidas poetry, discover how rulers like Chandragupta II shaped India's classical era. Hit that subscribe button and join us as we uncover the secrets of incredible dynasty. In this chapter, we are going to know about the concepts of why the Guptas period, sometimes called the classical age in Indian history. What was happening in the rest of the subcontinent at this time? Who were some great figures of this period and why do their stories matter today? Introduction. Dhruv and Bhavisha, two curious travelers, used their time machine Itihas to explore the Gupta Empire, a remarkable period in ancient Indian history. They visited the Iron Pillar in Mehrauli, Delhi, which is over 1600 years old and does not rust due to a special protective layer on its surface. This pillar, dedicated to the god Vishnu, was built during the reign of Chandragupta II, a famous Gupta ruler, and showcases the advanced metallurgical skills of the ancient India. Let's dive into the key details of the Gupta Empire, its rulers, society, achievements, and legacy explained simply. The rise of the Gupta Empire. Around the 3rd century CE, the Kushan Empire in the northern India weakened and new kingdoms emerged. The Gupta dynasty, starting in what is now Uttar Pradesh, grew powerful and formed a large empire. The Gupta period is often called a golden age because of its progress in art, science, literature and governance. The Guptas ruled over much of the northern, western, central and eastern India, including areas like Prayagraj, Ayodhya and Bihar. Their empire was well organized and their rule brought peace and prosperity, allowing creativity and learning to flourish. Key Gupta rulers. Chandragupta I. The first major Gupta ruler, he expanded the empire through strategic alliances and issued coins to strengthen his rule. He laid the foundation for the Gupta Empire's success. Samundragupta, Chandragupta's first son, known as the Warrior King, fought many battles to expand the empire. His achievements are recorded in the Prayagraj pillar inscriptions, Prayagraj Prasasti, by his court poet Hari Sen. Samundragupta allowed defeated kings to continue ruling if they paid tribute, which helped maintain peace. He also supported art, learning and trade and was a skilled veena player as shown on his coins. Chandragupta II, Vikramaditya. Samundragupta's son, he was one of the most famous Gupta rulers. He was a devotee of Vishnu and the iron pillar was built during his reign to honor the god. His rule saw great advancements in art, science and trade. He formed alliances like marrying his daughter Prabhavati Gupta to a Vakatak prince, which strengthened ties with neighboring kingdoms. Society in the Gupta Empire. A Chinese traveler named Faxian visited India during the Gupta period, early 5th century CE, to study Buddhism and collect manuscripts. His travel log gives us a glimpse of Gupta society. Happy and prosperous people. Most people were content and cities were wealthy. Merchant, Vaishyas, and traders built charitable houses to help the poor, sick, and orphans with food and medicine. Simple governance. People did not need to register their households or deal with too many officials. Farmers paid a portion of their crops as tax, and the king's guard were salaried. Social challenges. Faxion noted that some groups, like the Chandels outcasts, faced harsh treatment and lived outside cities, showing not everyone enjoyed the same privileges. Faxion's account is valuable but reflects only his perspective. Historians use multiple sources to understand the full picture of the society. Governance and administration. The Gupta Empire was well managed. Decentralized rule. The empire was divided into provinces, and local rulers, priests, and chieftains were given land to govern. Land grants were recorded on copper plates for accuracy. Royal titles. Gupta kings used grand titles like Maharaja Dhiraj, King of Kings, Samrat, and Chakravarti to show their supreme power, unlike earlier rulers who used simpler titles like Rajan. Alliances and diplomacy. The Guptas expanded their empire through wars, diplomacy, and marriages. For example, Prabhavati Gupta, Chandragupta's second daughter, became a regent ruler of the Vakatak kingdom and maintained strong ties with the Guptas. She built 7 Vishnu temples in Ramagiri, modern-day Maharashtra. Economy and trade. The Gupta Empire's wealth came from land taxes, the main source of revenue collected from farmers. Other taxes, taxes on mines, irrigation, trade, and crafts. Thriving trade. The Guptas traded textiles, spices, ivory, and gemstones with places like the Mediterranean, Southeast Asia, and China. The Indian Ocean trade network connected Indian ports to distant markets, with Socotra Islands in the Arabian Sea serving as a key stop. Archaeological evidence like Brahmi inscriptions and Buddhist designs shows Indian traders' presence there alongside traders from Egypt, Rome, and Greece. This revenue supported the army, temples, infrastructure, and scholars, making the empire prosperous. Achievements of the Gupta period. The Gupta Empire is called the Classical Age because of its remarkable progress in many fields during a time of peace and stability. Here are some key achievements. First, science and mathematics. Aryabhatta, a mathematician and astronomer from Kusumpur near Patna, he wrote the Aryabhatta around 500 CE. He calculated the Earth's rotation, the length of a year very close to modern values, and explained solar and lunar ellipses. His mathematical techniques are still used today. Brahmir, an astronomer and mathematician, he wrote the Brihat Samhita covering astronomy, astrology, weather forecasting, architecture, and farming. His work combined observation and logic with traditional knowledge. Metallurgy. The rust-resistant iron pillar is prime example of advanced metal working skills. Second, literature. Kalidas, a renowned poet, he wrote Meghdutam, the cloud messenger, a beautiful poem about a yaksh sending a message to his beloved via a cloud. It described North India's landscapes and emotions vividly. His works are masterpieces of Sanskrit language. Purans. Many major Purans sacred texts of Hinduism were written or compiled during this period. Ayurveda. The Chakra Samhita and Shushruta Samhita, key texts of Indian medicine, were finalized. They covered disease diagnosis, treatments, diet, surgery, and holistic healing, emphasizing the connection between mind, body, and nature. Third, art and architecture. Gupta art. Known for its beauty, Gupta art included sculptures of the Buddha at Sarnath and rock-cut caves at Ajanta and Udayagiri. These set high standards for aesthetics. Temples and monasteries. The Guptas, through Vishnu devotees, supported Buddhist institutions like Nalanda University and Vihars monasteries, showing their inclusive approach. Other kingdoms during the Gupta period. While the Guptas ruled the north, other dynasties thrived elsewhere. Pallavas in the south. Based in Kanchipuram, Tamil Nadu, they were devotees of Shiva and built magnificent temples and rock-cut caves. Kanchipuram became a major center of learning with Ghatikas, educational institutions. Kamarup in the northeast, ruled by the Varman dynasty in the Brahmaputra Valley, modern-day Assam, it was a cultural and political hub with flourishing temples and monasteries. Samudragupta defeated rulers in the regions Samudragupta defeated rulers in both regions but allowed them to continue ruling as tributaries, maintaining peaceful relations. Decline of the Gupta Empire. By the 6th century CE, the Gupta Empire weakened due to external invasions. The Hun tribe from Central Asia attacked repeatedly, straining the empire's resources. Internal conflicts. Powerful regional rulers challenged Gupta authority, leading to fragmentation. This decline marked a turning point in Indian history, paving the way for new regional powers. Legacy of the Gupta Empire. The Gupta period left a lasting impact. Cultural influence. Their art, literature, and architecture continue to inspire modern India. Scientific advancements. Contribution in mathematics, astronomy, and medicine laid the foundation for future progress. Stable governance. The Gupta's administrative system and inclusive policies set a model for later rulers. Global connections. Their trade network fostered cultural exchanges across Asia and beyond. The Gupta Empire's achievements made it one of the high points of Indian history, shaping the country's culture, tradition, and intellectual heritage. Additional important insights. Inclusivity. The Gupta's support for both Hinduism and Buddhism shows their open-minded approach, which encouraged diverse ideas and traditions to thrive. Historical sources. Inscriptions like the Iron Pillar and Pragyag Prasasti, coins, and travel logs like factions are crucial for understanding the Gupta period. However, historians must check multiple sources to avoid bias and get a complete picture. Women in power. Prabhavati Gupta's role as a regent ruler highlights the influence women could have in governance, even in ancient times. Scientific precision. Aryabhat's calculation, like the Earth's rotation and the length of a year, were remarkably accurate for their time, showing India's advanced scientific knowledge. Cultural exchange. Trade with distant regions brought Indian culture to places like Socotra and introduced foreign ideas to India, enriching its society. This period was a time of creativity, prosperity, and progress, making the Gupta Empire a shining chapter in India's history that continues to influence the present. We have learned from this chapter the Gupta kings consolidate their power through military campaigns, land grants, and matrimonial alliances to ensure stability in the empire. The period show remarkable contribution in the fields of art, literature, science, and mathematics. Other than the Guptas, dynasties like Vakatak, Pallavs, and Varmans ruled in their respective regions, making this period full of cultural and intellectual vibrancy. Answer to the questions given at the beginning of this chapter. Question: how were the Guptas? Why is the Gupta period sometimes called the classical age in Indian history? Answer: the Guptas were a powerful dynasty that emerged in the present-day Uttar Pradesh around the 3rd century CE, ruling much of the northern, western, and central India. They built a strong empire through conquest, alliances, and efficient governance. The Gupta period is often called the classical age due to its significant achievements in arts like Ajanta caves, science like Aryabhat's astronomy, literature like Kalidas' poetry, and governance with a stable and prosperous society that fostered culture and intellectual growth, leaving a lasting legacy. Question: what was happening in the rest of the subcontinent at this time? Answer: while the Guptas ruled in the north, the Pallavs in the southern India, based in Kanchipuram, Tamil Nadu, were prominent worshipping Shiva and constructing grand temples and rock-cut caves while promoting learning through Ghatikas. In the northeast, the Kamarupa kingdom in the Brahmaputra Valley, modern Assam, thrived as a cultural and political center with temples and monasteries. Both regions were defeated by Samudragupta but allowed to rule as tributaries, ensuring peaceful coexistence. Question: who were some great figures of this period and why do their stories matter today? Answer: notable figures include Aryabhat, who wrote the Aryabhatya and calculated the Earth's rotation and eclipse. Brahmira, whose Brihat Samhita covered astronomy, astrology, and architecture, and Kalidas, whose poetic masterpiece Meghdutam vividly described India's landscapes and emotions. Their stories matter today because their contributions in science, mathematics, and literature laid foundation for modern knowledge, and their work continue to inspire India's cultural and intellectual heritage. Answer to the questions and activities given in between the lesson. Activity on page number 150. Why do you think kings choose to proclaim their achievements in the form of inscriptions? Answer: kings choose inscription to proclaim their achievements because they were a durable way to record their victories, rule, and devotion, ensuring their legacy endured for future generations. The coins of Samudragupta showing him playing the veena and the goddess Lakshmi served as both propaganda and a symbol of royal power and prosperity. Activity on page number 151. In the grade 6th chapter, Timeline and the Source of History, we listed multiple sources that help us understand the past. Compile a list of the sources we have referred to so far in the chapter? What did we learn from each source? Answer: Iron Pillar inscription. Learned about Chandragupt's second reason, his devotion to Vishnu and advanced metallurgical skills from the 1600 years old rust resistant pillar. Prayag Prasasti provided details of Samudragupt's conquest and his support for art and trade, written by poet Hari Sen. Faxian's travelogue revealed insights into Gupt society, including prosperity, charity by merchants, and harsh treatment of outcasts, from his 5th century visit. Coins. Example: Chandragupt's showed royal achievements and cultural symbols like Samudragupt playing the veena and the goddess Lakshmi reflecting power and prosperity. Vishnu Puran listed key Gupt reasons like Prayag and Magad, indicating the empire's extent. Copper plate land grants highlighted the administrative system and tax record of land given to local rulers and priests. Activity on page number 153. Read the excerpt from Faxian given above and identify the key features of the society he describes. Write down your observation and compare your notes with your friends. You might be surprised to see how differently others interpret the same text. Answer: Key features of the society Faxian describes include a happy and prosperous population, wealthy cities with kind inhabitants, charitable houses by merchants for the poor, and simple governance without household registration and tax payments from farmers. However, he also notes the harsh treatment of outcasts like Chandelas. Comparing notes with friends might reveal different interpretations as perspective on prosperity versus social inequality can vary. Let's explore activity on page number 155. Observe the painting of Prabhavati Gupta sitting in her court, taking note of the details, her attire, posture, and the people around her and the setting of the court. What do these elements tell you about her life, role, and the time she lived in? Discuss your observation in groups and share your insights with the class. Answer: The painting shows Prabhavati Gupta in a richly adorned red outfit, seated on a throne with a child, indicating her royal status and role as a mother. The people around her, including attendants and a bowing figure, suggest her authority as a regent ruler. The ornate court setting with pillars and rugs reflect the prosperous Gupta era, hinting at her influential life and the stable culture time she lived in during the 4th to 5th century CE. Let's explore activity on page number 159. Let's join Bhavisha and Dhruv with their time machine in the time of Guptas. You are getting an opportunity to meet Aryabhat and Vrahamir. What would you ask them? Answer: Group 1. Aryabhat questions. How did you discover the Earth's rotation? What inspired your calculation of the year's length? Can you explain your eclipse theories? Group 2. Vrahamir questions. What led you to write the Brihat Sanhita? How did you predict weather and plan towns? What was your process of combining science and tradition? Let's explore activity on page number 160. Take a close look at the samples of Gupta sculptures. By looking at the attributes, can you guess which deities are depicted here? Write down your observation in the space provided and share your thoughts during the class discussion. Answer based on the attributes in these cultures. Figure 7.15.1 from textbook. The cylindrical head with a serene expression and a crescent moon-like ornament suggests it could be a depiction of Lord Shiva, a prominent deity in the Gupta period, often associated with such symbols. Figure 7.15.2 from textbook. The multi-armed figure with the halo and ornate jewelry likely represent Lord Vishnu, a key deity during the Gupta era, known for his divine attributes and protective role. Observations. This sculpture showed detailed craftsmanship with intricate carvings and symbolic elements like halos, multiple arms, and water pots, reflecting the Gupta period's advanced art and religious devotion. Sharing these thoughts in class could lead to interesting discussions on their cultural significance. Answer to the questions given at the end of the chapter. Questions and activities. First, imagine you receive a letter from someone living in the Gupta Empire. The letter starts like this. Greetings from Patliputra. Life here is vibrant and full of excitement. Just yesterday I witnessed. Complete the letter with a short paragraph around 250 to 300 words describing life in the Gupta Empire. Answer. Greetings from Patliputra. Life here is vibrant and full of excitement. Just yesterday, I witnessed a grand procession honoring King Chandragupta II, with musicians playing the veena, dancers performing elegant moves, and merchants showcasing silks and spices from distant lands like the Mediterranean. The streets are bustling with scholars debating at the local vihar inspired by the likes of Aryabhat, whose calculation about the earth's rotation amaze us all. The air carries the scent of blooming flowers and the sound of temple bells as devotees offer prayers to Vishnu. Our markets thrive with trade, and I saw artisans crafting beautiful terracotta sculptures of Ganga and Yamuna, reflecting our rich culture. The king's guards ensure peace while farmers bring their harvest, paying taxes that support grand temples and learning centers like Nalanda. Though life is prosperous, I have heard whispers of outcasts facing hardship outside the city. Still, the blend of the art, science, and spirituality makes Patliputra a jewel of the Gupta Empire, and I feel lucky to witness this golden era firsthand. Second, which Gupta Empire was also known as the Vikramaditya? Answer. Chandragupta II was also known as Vikramaditya. Third, periods of peace support the development of various aspects of socio-cultural life, literature, and the development of science and technology. Examine this statement in the light of the Gupta Empire. Answer. This statement holds true for the Gupta Empire. Prolonged peace under rulers like Chandragupta II fostered a golden age where art like Ajanta caves, literature like Kalidas Meghdutam, and science like Aryabhat's astronomy thrived. Stable governance supported trade, temple construction, and institutions like Nalanda, boosting socio-cultural life, and technological advancements like the rust-resistant iron pillar. Fourth, recreate a scene from a Gupta ruler's court. write a short script, assign roles like the king, ministers, and scholars, and enact a role play to bring the Gupta era to life. Answer. Setting. Chandragupta II's court in Patliputra with ornate pillars and scholars gathered. Role. King Chandragupta II. Minister 1 Tax Advisor. Minister 2 Military Advisor. Scholar Aryabhat. Script. King. Welcome my court. Minister 1. How fair are taxes? Minister 1. Sir, trade with Socotra brings rich revenue. Farmers pay well. King. Excellent. Minister 2. What of our borders? Minister 2. Secure, my lord, after defeating the Huns. King. Good. Scholars Aryabhat, share your wisdom. Scholar, I have calculated the earth spins, explaining day and night, my king. King. A marvel. Let's sport more learning. Court is dismissed. Enactment. Assign roles, act with gestures, bowing, gesturing maps, and discuss Gupta achievements lively. Fifth, match the two columns. Column 1, Kanchipuram, known as a city of 1,000 temples. Second, Ujjaini, famous for rock-cut caves featuring intricate carvings of Hindu deities, especially Vishnu. Third, Udayagiri, capital of the Guptas. Fourth, Ajanta, known for vibrant cave paintings that depict the Jatak tales. Fifth, Patliputra, a prominent center of learning in ancient India. Note, there seemed to be a potential mismatch with Udayagiri as the capital of the Guptas, as historical records identify Patliputra as the capital. Udayagiri is more accurately known for its rock-cut caves and Vishnu carvings, which might align better with B. However, based strictly on the given options, the matches are as listed, with the assumptions that the table contains a possible error or simplification. Sixth, who were the Pallas and where did they rule? Answer, the Pallas were a powerful dynasty in the southern India, emerging as a tributary power under the Satvahans. They ruled over parts of present-day Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, with their capital at Kanchipuram, known as the city of 1,000 temples. Seventh, organize an exploration trip with your teachers to a nearby historical site, museum or heritage building. After the trip, write a detailed report describing your experience. Include key observation about the site's historical significance, the architecture, artifacts, and any interesting facts you learned during the visit. Reflect on how the trip enhanced your understanding of history. Answer, report. Trip to a local museum on July 5th, 2025, 9:45 p.m. We visited the local history museum with our teachers. The site, built in the 19th century, preserves artifacts from ancient India, includes Gupta era coins and sculptures. The architecture featured colonial style arches and modern galleries. Key artifacts included a replica of the iron pillar and terracotta figures of Ganga and Yamuna, highlighting advanced metallurgy and art. We learned the pillar's rust resistance amazed scientists and reflected Gupta prosperity. The trip deepened my understanding of history by connecting the textbook lessons to tangible relics, showing how peace fostered cultural growth, inspiring me to explore more historical sites. More important questions answered. First, what is the Iron Pillar of Delhi and why it is important? Answered, the Iron Pillar is a 1600-year-old 6-ton structure built during Chandragupt's second reign, dedicated to Vishnu. It's famous for not rusting due to a unique protective layer showcasing ancient India's advancement metallurgy. Question: where was the Iron Pillar originally erected? Answer: it was likely first erected in front of Udaygiri caves in Madhya Pradesh and later moved to Delhi. Question: when did the Gupta Empire rise to power? Answer: the Gupta Empire rose in the 3rd century CE after the decline of the Kushan Empire, starting in present-day Uttar Pradesh. Question: why is the Gupta period called a golden era? Answer: it's called a golden era due to significant advancement in art, architecture, literature, science, and governance, with peace and prosperity fostering creativity. Question: who was Chandragupta first and what was his role? Answer: Chandragupta first was the first major Gupta ruler who expanded the empire through strategic alliances and issued coins to strengthen his rule. Question: who was Samudragupta and what were his achievements? Answer: Samudragupta, Chandragupta's first son, was a warrior king who expanded the empire through conquest, allowed defeated kings to rule as tributaries, and supported arts, learning, and trade. He was also a Veena player. Question: what is the Prayag Prasasti? Answer: it's a pillar inscription in Prayagraj by Samudragupta's court poet Hari Sen, praising the king's conquest and ambition to unify the earth. Question: who was Chandragupta II and what was his title? Answer: Chandragupta II, also called Vikramaditya, was a famous Gupta ruler and Vishnu devotee who oversaw great advancements in art, science, and trade. Question: who was Prabhavati Gupta and what was her role? Answer: Prabhavati Gupta, Chandragupta II's daughter, was married to Wakatak prince and became a regent ruler, strengthening Gupta Wakatak ties and building 7 Vishnu temples. Question: what did Faxian observe about Gupta society? Answer: Faxian, as Chinese trader, noted that people were happy, cities were prosperous, merchants provided charity, and governance was simple, but outcasts like Chandelas faced harsh treatment. Question: why is Faxian's travel log important? Answer: it provides a glimpse of Gupta society, but as it reflects only his perspective, historians cross-check it with other sources for accuracy. Question: how was the Gupta Empire governed? Answer: the empire was divided into provinces with land grants to local rulers, priests, and chieftains, recorded on copper plates, ensuring efficient tax collection and local control. Question: what titles did Gupta rulers rule and what did they signify? Answer: titles like Maharaja Dhiraj, Samrat, and Chakravarti showed their supreme authority and superiority over earlier rulers with simpler titles like Rajan. Question: how did the Guptas expand their empire? Answer: they used military conquest, diplomacy, and matrimonial alliances like Prabhavati Gupta's marriage to a Wakatak prince. Question: what were the main sources of revenue for the Guptas? Answer: land taxes were the primary source along with taxes on mines, irrigation, trade, crafts and fines. Question: what goods did the Guptas trade and with whom? Answer: they trade textiles, spices, ivory and gemstones with the Mediterranean, Southeast Asia and China via the Indian Ocean Trade Network. Question: what role did Socotra Island play in Gupt trade? Answer: Socotra was a key stop in the Indian Ocean trade. With archaeological evidence like Brahmi inscription showing India's traders' presence alongside those from Egypt, Rome and Greece. Question: why is the Gupt period called the Classical Age? Answer: it was a time of peace and stability, leading to advancements in art, science, literature and governance with lasting cultural impacts. Question: who was Aryabhat and what were his contributions? Answer: Aryabhat, a mathematician and astronomer, wrote the Aryabhatya. He calculated the Earth's rotation, the length of a year, solar and lunar ellipse, and mathematical techniques still used today. Question: who was Brahmir and what did he write? Answer: Brahmir, an astronomer and mathematician, wrote the Brihat Sanhita covering astronomy, astrology, weather forecasting, architecture and farming. Question: who was Kalidas and what is his famous work? Answer: Kalidas was a renowned Sanskrit poet who wrote Meghdutam, the cloud messenger, a poem about a yaksh sending a message through a cloud describing India's landscapes and emotions. Question: what is Ayurveda and how was it developed during the Gupt period? Answer: Ayurveda is a traditional Indian medical system. During the Gupt period, texts like Charak Sanhita and Sushruta Sanhita were finalized, covering disease diagnosis, treatments, diet, surgery and holistic healing. Question: what are some examples of Gupt art and architecture? Answer: Gupt art includes Buddha sculpture at Sarnath, rock-cut caves at Ajanta and carvings at Udayagiri known for their aesthetic beauty. Question: did the Guptas support other religions beside Hinduism? Answer: yes. Though Vishnu devotees, they supported Buddhist institutions like the Nalanda University and Vihars, showing inclusivity. Question: why did the Gupta's empire decline? Answer: the empire weakened in the 6th century CE due to invasions by the Huns tribe and internal conflicts with powerful regional rulers. Question: who were the Pallavas and what were their contributions? Answer: the Pallavas ruled southern India from Kanchipuram, were Shiva devotees and built magnificent temples and rock-cut caves. Their city was a major learning center with Ghatikas. Question: what was the Kamarup kingdom? Answer: ruled by the Varman dynasty in the Brahmaputra Valley, modern Assam, it was a cultural and political hub with flourishing temples and monasteries. Question: how did Samudragupta deal with the Pallavas and Kamarup? Answer: he defeated their rulers but allowed them to continue ruling as tributaries, maintaining peaceful relations. Question: what is the legacy of the Gupta Empire? Answer: the Guptas left a lasting impact through advancements in art, science, literature, and governance, influencing India's culture, traditions, and intellectual heritage. Question: why are the multiple historical sources important for studying the Gupta period? Answer: different sources like inscriptions, coins, and Phaxian's travelogue provide varied perspectives, and cross-checking them ensure a more accurate understanding of the period. Hope you like this video. Thanks for watching. Please like and share this video and subscribe our channel Gyan. For Hindi version of these videos, please check the description box.
अगले पाठ का वीडियो देखने के लिए नेक्स्ट वीडियो पर क्लिक करें और सभी पाठों के लिए फुल प्लेलिस्ट पर क्लिक करें।